a sweet harmony. Someday we'll all be free.
the scene. Class first class. The mastermind of this operation is Jason Levine. Class first class. With the help of his scruffy buddy, 85 to the RGT. Class first class.
Good evening, all you beautiful people, and welcome to the Class vs. Crass Gaming Podcast, episode 195, I think is where we're at now. I'm your host, TJ. Joining me as always, we got the Crassy one, RGT85.
I'm lagging.
Yes, you are. And we've got the bearded one, Greg, down below.
What is up?
How you doing?
I think I share everybody's sentiments when I say we're all tired.
Are we all tired? I'm tired, Greg's tired, Sean's tired. How about we just spend the next hour having a collective nap?
Let's get in our Zen zone.
We'll put on some like quiet music, and we'll just like do some yoga or something. You ever done yoga, Greg?
I have not. I'm not flexible enough for that business.
So when people say that, I always like to say that's like saying you're too dirty to take a shower. You know, the whole reason you take a shower is to get clean, and the whole reason you take yoga is to get flexible.
Like I always thought like that the success stories from like DDP yoga. I thought that was like pretty dope to see like people lose significant amounts of weight and do things that they couldn't normally do and regain use of their limbs. Like I remember there was one guy that relied on arm crutches.
I saw that video.
And yeah.
And he's like running by the end of the video. It's a good workout. It's you get to just like roll around on the ground a lot, but it's harder than I'm making it sound. But yeah, you basically get more flexible, stronger. It's good. Anyways, if it is your first time joining us, welcome. It is a 1-hour podcast where we talk about all the latest in gaming. Specifically, tonight we're going to be focusing on Paper Mario's release. I don't think anyone here played Ghost of Tsushima, right? So I don't think we can talk about that tonight. Nope. Okay.
No, I didn't.
That is.
I want to so bad.
So do I. So we're going to push that off into another episode. We're going to talk about Nintendo rumors because apparently tomorrow's the day. And then we've got an Xbox showcase coming up this week. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and our predictions and what we think Xbox should do. Any other big stories you guys think we should talk about tonight that I might have missed?
That about covers it all.
All right. And if there's anything you guys want us to talk about, be sure to let us know. And then we save the last 50 minutes for questions and any topic you want us to cover, which is the lightning round. So with all of that in mind, let's get started with our first segment of What Have You Been Playing? The bearded one. Besides your beard.
Honestly, not much.
You didn't finish Spider-Man yet?
I did not. I went to jump into it again. My controller is dead, and I was like, this is life. This is 2020 in a nutshell. I'm just going to go back to sleep.
That is PlayStation's life.
Yeah.
Always having a dead controller.
Yeah, but there is one game that I do want to check out. It was like some art like comic book art style like 2D platformer, I think it was, that came out on Switch.
That doesn't narrow it down at all.
Let me look it up real quick. But if you want to continue on to Mr. Sean.
Mr. Sean, what's going on?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't want to continue on to.
Mr. Sean, what have you been playing?
Jason, you a-hole.
Why am I still lagging?
You've destroyed the time dimensional continuum from all of your anger and spite at the universe.
This is really bothering me. I played Metal Gear Solid 4. I'm almost done with
Metal
it again.
Gear Solid 4, wow.
Yeah, I felt like playing it again.
Liberated.
Oh, okay. I know what game we're talking about. It came out earlier this month? Last month?
Yeah, it looks dope though.
Yeah, it does look good.
I still need to play all the Metal Gears.
Yes, you do.
Except for 2. And
Well,
what else?
You've played 2?
I've played and completed 2, and I actually really enjoyed it. Really like the story. and it does end on a cliffhanger. So like, I'm surprised I never
3's the
followed
best.
through. Well, yeah, 2 leads into 3, and I'm like, anyways.
Kind of. You go back to the past. Big boss. And Paper Mario. I bought it from the Australian eShop on Thursday,
I saw that. I was like, he would.
so that I could play it a day before everyone else. It was a longer game than I anticipated, though, so I'm glad I did purchase it.
How many hours?
There's no in-game timer, but it has to be over 30 because Outer Worlds took me like 26 to 28 hours to beat, and that has an in-game timer. And looking at the games you've played the most on the Switch, Paper Mario is ahead of that. So
Okay. Yeah, that's what I've been trying to like figure out.
it was a lot longer than I thought it would be. But yeah. Other than that, well, I actually went ahead and preloaded Crisis on the Switch as well because I had to get Australian eShop codes, and so I just used the codes. I had leftover. It was funny. I had leftover money in the Australian eShop, and I was like $1 and change short, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm not buying another card." But I remember those stupid gold coins that you accumulate, and I had like 400 gold coins, so that paid for the rest of it, so I didn't have to buy another card. So I was happy about that.
Yeah, that's always kind of nice. Like I cashed in some when I bought Celeste and it was already 75% off or something like that. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot I even have these coins.
It's a nice
Yeah,
surprise.
it's handy. I mean, it could be better, but it's handy.
Yeah.
I remember when the Wii U introduced that, I think I forgot about it. And 2-3 years into the Wii U's life cycle, I remember we made an article about it of like, oh my goodness, check like your balance of points. Like it was kind of hidden away. And there was
Well, the best part was you would get it off review codes too.
exactly, yeah. Like you didn't even have to spend money. You just got them for redeeming games.
I had a fuck ton of coins in that.
Yeah, we got a lot of
My favorite was the Wii days when you could just open up the case and cash in the whatever, redeem the code that was on the inside of the pamphlet. The same thing on 3DS too, and you could go in and
Oh,
earn
for
points
Club
and stuff.
Nintendo?
Yeah, oh my god, I had like one of the Mario. I bought I actually still have it. It's a sleeve for the 3DS XL. It's like a nylon bag that has Mario's emblem on it, and then I had like a Mario Through the Ages one, and somehow it got wet and it's like in the little like storage container I had in, completely ruined it, and I was
Oh.
like, I'll never see that again.
The only thing I ever got from Club Nintendo were the posters, which are now all destroyed from moving. And
That's what it was.
I got the Smash Brothers soundtrack as well, which is in the car. Welcome back. Thank
Oh,
you.
that's cool.
Now it's not lagging.
There you go. We're good.
What the fuck is going on?
Yay!
So weird. All right.
Welcome to the present time. For on my end, I dabbled in Curse of the Moon 2. Go ahead, say what you got to say.
Fucking, I was so disappointed with you. I was so disappointed. You didn't even try the real game.
I thought about it. I was really gonna go hard on veteran.
No. Veteran is not the hard difficulty. It's the standard difficulty. So you should have played veteran until you got to a point where you were like, okay, I need a little additional help. You could change it on the fly. All you have to do is back out of the game and change the difficulty in your save file, and it's fine.
I did not know you could change it on the fly.
Absolutely disgusted with what I saw. Absolutely disgusted. He's just sitting there playing like, oh, this game isn't too hard at all. This is much easier than the first game. It's like, fuck, you're playing it on a casual mode. You gotta at least try it on the normal difficulty.
Veteran mode only adds 2 things. It adds a limited amount of lives, which is an old archaic system to steal quarters from the arcade days, which has no place in 2020 gaming.
It just brings you back to the start of the level if you run out of lives.
Versus unlimited lives does what? Just brings
You back to the checkpoint.
Okay, so I mean,
just
that is
making
respecting
it-
my time.
No, it's not. It's making it super easy.
It's respecting my time. Why do I have to play all this thing that I'm already good at just to attempt the hard part again?
How do you know you're good at it?
Because I made it through.
On casual mode.
Okay, and then the second thing is the knockback, which I will give to you, is a design mechanic that maybe I should have tried. But after seeing like what knockback could do, I'm like, no, I don't want any of this.
You know, and there's the whole money system that you're missing out on. That you're on level 3, you're like, oh, I guess the money is to get the extra lives in the game. It's like, yeah, it's called incentive. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
So I made it to the final boss, and I don't think I would have ever have made it there if it wasn't for veteran. Hold up, didn't you switch to casual for the final boss?
Yes.
Disgusting.
It's not disgusting because I got to a point where I was like, I keep dying over and over again. Let me try casual mode. And then I was able to beat the boss on casual mode.
So did you
that boss.
Did you beat the game
boss,
then? Does that count as beating the game?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll agree with you. I'm not against that. Some people will say no though. It's a hard game though. I just have to say it's a lot harder.
It's very hard.
And there's like multiple episodes and multiple playthroughs that get significantly harder. I have to say, like, there's I think 8 worlds, and after the 6, oh my god, it's just difficulty spike.
Yes.
But much more beautiful. I really love how they actually cranked up the graphics. It feels like a bigger game. It feels like a more fleshed out game than the first one. But the difficulty is a bit of a turnoff. I don't know. I don't have patience for that kind of.
Did you play any of the second quest?
No, I didn't beat the final boss yet. I ended last week's stream on the final boss. I made it through its first phase, and then there was a second phase. I was like, oh, screw this. I'm not doing this tonight. It was like midnight. I was tired. So tomorrow I'm gonna finish episode 1, and then we're gonna attempt episode 2. We'll see what happens. But a more fun game I play. Oh, and then I did.
Down? Oh, never mind. I think we're back.
Seem to be fine on our end. All's green on my dashboard. Wednesday I did a bunch of Devolver stuff. So we played the Devolver Expo game, that free thing.
I did run through some of that.
It's a marketing simulator. Like
Yeah.
you walk around an expo hall and you look at game trailers.
I was surprised how accurately they portrayed the E3 show floor.
Right,
though.
like, oh, if I go here, it's there, and like.
I was like, yeah. I was like, man, this is pretty spot on.
Then I tried some demos. I have to say, I tried Carrion, or Carry-On. I don't know how to pronounce
Oh
it.
yeah.
The whole red tentacle thing. Holy shit, the controls in that game feel amazing. It just feels so good to. I was like, how are they going to make the controls for this thing good? Because you're a tentacle monster. But the way they did is basically the center of your thing moves like a cursor. So your left joystick is like moving a mouse on a screen. Like you can go anywhere you want, and the tentacles just do their thing. And then you can like hold the button to like have your mouth like to grab what you want to eat. Super smooth gameplay. I'm really impressed. That's a game I'm going to be picking up for sure. So we played that. We played Kunai. Kunai's really good too. It's like a little light Metroidvania with like it almost feels like 2D Spider-Man. And then what was that? Oh, there was that other Devolver game that they announced that was like something like a ninja or something. It's like Oli something. Did not like. Shitty game. Just garbage.
Jeez.
It was boring. It was.
I never thought I'd hear those words come out of your mouth, especially for how many indie.
No,
games you
so
love.
the thing is, when you play a lot of indie games, you play a lot of shitty games. Like I had to sugarcoat it a little bit on Nintendo Enthusiast because I was the champion of indies, guys. But now as Hey Jay, it's like no, most of it is shit. Here's your good stuff. Play the good stuff.
What was so bad about it?
It lacked a strong identity. Like there was no music. Everything just feels like toned down. Like the graphics, everything is muted. It had some good concept with the spear that you can throw a spear and you can like pull it back to you. That mechanic felt good, but everything else was just, I don't know. It's missing something that's like there's no satisfaction in the gameplay. I was just running through it, and even people were watching are like, can we change games now? So
Olegia?
That's the one, Olegia. So I did not like it.
Is it as bad as Bombing Bastards?
No, Bombing Bastards is worse. Did you just Google that to remember what it was called?
No, I remembered that. I was just looking for the video.
Oh. Do you know Armillo is on Steam, by the way? And it's free.
I saw your tweet.
By the way, Armillo is that stuffed plush animal I have in the back here. It was a Wii U exclusive game, and now it's free on Steam.
Yeah, I
good
remember
game.
that.
It was okay. It's what...
I thought you were in love
it.
with that game.
I'll tell you what
liked
I'm
it
in
a
love
lot.
with, Greg. I'm in love with Paper Mario. Origami King. Have you?
Did you watch my review of it?
touching your door.
That's why people don't like it, literally, because of people like Arlo. And no disrespect to Arlo, but Arlo is very passionate about the 1,000-Year Door, and he has a large following. So when he's like, I don't like this game because it's not a 1,000-Year Door, and I want a 1,000-Year Door too, he has probably a lot of younger audience because of the whole puppet moniker, so people gravitate towards that.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, that's fine. That's just his opinion, but I don't agree with his opinion. I think as a standalone game, Paper Mario: The Origami King is a very, very good game. It's the first Nintendo Switch first-party game that I've bought in 2020. I didn't buy Tokyo Mirage Sessions because I'm not a weeb. I didn't buy Animal Crossing. It's a game for weebs. If there's any weebs in the chat, they will back that up. I don't mean it in a negative way. I'm just saying that's not the style of game I like.
Notice me, senpai.
Yeah, like I don't get down with that shit. I don't watch anime and stuff like that. It's not for me. I didn't buy Animal Crossing just because it was Animal Crossing, and I've sort of moved on from it. And Xenoblade Chronicles, I played it on the Wii. I played it on the new 3DS. I don't need to play it for a third time. So this was a game that I had, somewhat high expectations for. I've played every Paper Mario game there is, so it's not like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And the writing is very good. The world is very good. The traversal system continues to grow as you play the game. You unlock the ability to traverse certain areas with different things.
How far did you make it?
I beat it.
You completed the game.
Yeah, I bought it. Like I said, I bought it Thursday morning from the Australian eShop, so I had an extra day with it.
Oh, okay.
But it was definitely longer than I thought it would be, and it's a damn good thing I bought it early because I don't think I would have finished it. I know I wouldn't have finished it by today in order to do a video, which is I initially wanted to do my video yesterday for the game. That's sort of what I had planned out by buying the game Thursday. But no, I needed that extra day. But luckily, there was a pretty good eShop sale going on, so it all worked out. The combat system, that's definitely the most divisive thing with the game. I don't think it's bad. I think the negative part about the combat, I think the combat itself is fine. Mm-hmm. I think the fact that there's really no incentive to do the combat is the problem because you don't gain experience and all that stuff from it. Now, there are some standard battles that you have to do in order to find a toad or doing that will it'll access something that you have to do in order to progress, which is fine. But just the basic battles, I found myself running away from them. However, as you get stronger throughout the game, and I forgot to mention this in my fucking review, which annoyed me, you can actually stomp. When you're in the overworld, you can just jump on a Goomba or something and they'll die. You won't go into the battle system with it. And then as far as the boss battles are concerned, I actually think they're fun as hell because they have that whole path system where you have to line things up. And the further you get, the more obstacles the bosses will throw at you in the path system, which makes it pretty challenging. I only died probably a handful of times, 3, 4, maybe 5 times max. And they're all on boss battles. And one of the boss battles is actually, it kicked my ass, man. I don't know if you've done it yet. The Fire Dragon?
No.
He kicked my ass. It was a 30-something minute battle I had with this dude. And I just couldn't.
The boss battles are really deep. Outside of just creating paths of optimizing what you want, you have to know your abilities. I didn't realize on a certain boss that you had to use this new ability you got in a previous chapter, and we're going to keep this spoiler free for anyone who hasn't played the game. And when I accidentally used that ability to just see what would happen, I was like, oh, that protects me from this certain attack. And it just kind of blew my mind. That's okay, it's not just your standard jump and hammer attack on bosses. You actually have to start using all these other papercraft attacks in certain things, and you have to use the jumps. It's very creative.
It's pretty much the sub boss that you fight before going into the boss battle. You have to use that ability that you unlock.
Right. Yeah.
The only thing I did. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say outside of the general gameplay combat, what stands out most in terms of graphics and sound? What
graphics are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And the scope, you get you get like this feeling as you're walking up to areas and like you see them in the background, and then as you travel to them, there's a very good sense of scope. Each area that you visit has like a theme. One is actually a theme park.
I just got there. That's where I just got there.
Yeah, and there's great variety in that stuff. Wait till you get to the desert town. Is fucking gorgeous.
What I love when you before you go on, what I love when you arrive somewhere is you always arrive and it's usually like the area is dead. Like you can see something bad happen, and I love what they did with the toad mechanic, which was introduced in previous Paper Mario games. Collecting toads, and people hated that, but I find they refined that mechanic here, and now rescuing toads populates not just Toad Town, but also the area you're in, and it unlocks like shops and unlocks everything. So rescuing toads is even more satisfying than ever before.
It has a
they add them
purpose.
to the stands too?
Yes. So if you get in a bind, you can call them in a battle, and they'll do various things like throw you health or set up lines for you, shit like that, depending on how many coins you put in. I will say that the coins are too abundant. I feel like you never fucking run out of coins. And like that's sort of one of the reasons you're supposed to do the normal battles is to earn coins, but it's like once again you have so many coins that it's pointless.
I thought so at first too. Did you never add time to your battles? Because that's
not really.
Oh, maybe you're better at the puzzles than I am. Sometimes I find myself like I was like, why do I have so many coins? And then like items started costing 10,000 coins, and then I realized, oh,
you know that dude fucks you.
Oh, you can negotiate down.
I didn't know that until after the fact. Somebody told me.
Whoops. And then when I learned that, oh, you can add time because all the battles are timed. Like you only have so much time to do your spinny things. But you can spend coins to add time to your counter. So if you're like struggling to figure it out, you're just like, ah, shit, okay, add some time. And that's one way to use up coins.
But see, like, so, I did watch your video, Sean, and then I caught Brett's too talking about it. And it's like, I just find it so fascinating that people are so hell-bent on dying. That's the hill they're going to die. It's not. That's what you're doing. Like, that's just like.
It's just like Star Fox.
It's so fucking stupid.
Mario.
So stupid.
Paper Mario fans and diehards, cultists, as I called them in my video, which I'm sure went over fucking great. That's why a lot of times I won't even look at my video after I put it up because I'm like, well, after like the first hour or so, like the hardcore fans who watch anything I put up and watch it, and then you start to get the outsiders and they're like, fuck you, die! And I'm like, okay, whatever. But no, Paper Mario fans and Star Fox fans are the exact fucking same because Paper Mario cultists and Star Fox cultists always go back to two games. Paper Mario goes back to Paper Mario 64 and 1,000 Year Door. Star Fox fans go back to Star Fox 1 and Star Fox 64. And they're like, I want this game again. I want this literal game again. And they just need to make it back. And it's like, motherfucker, it has been 16 years since since 1,000 Year Door. It has been 20 plus years since fucking Star Fox 64. Like, you're depriving yourself of good games. And look, hot fucking take. My favorite Paper Mario game is Super Paper Mario on the Nintendo Wii. I thought that game was fucking brilliant. And that's sort of what this feels like to me, is sort of an evolution of that game. They deprived themselves of Color Splash, which wasn't a great game, but it was a solid game. And, Sticker Star sucked. I mean, that's pretty much a general feeling of it. But it's the same fucking thing with Star Fox. Like, you missed out. Like, yeah, Star Fox Command on the DX was not a great game. Star Fox Assault on the GameCube was a fucking great game. Why aren't you sucking that game's dick? Oh, because it had outside of the fucking R-Wing segments and you had land segments. You know what? Those segments were fun. Hell, fucking Star Fox Adventures was a fun game, even though it was initially a game called Dinosaur Planet, but it was a fun game in and of itself. If you really want to get into it, Star Fox, look at Star Fox 2. Okay, the sequel. No, fuck you. Star Fox 2 is a great game.
I just played it last week. Did not like that.
Because you're playing it in 2020 as a new game. It runs better. It runs better than the original Star Fox does because the Star Fox you're playing, I'm assuming, is on the Switch Virtual Console. You're not playing the actual cartridge, right?
That's right.
So there's a good chance that if you played the actual cartridge, it was version 1.0, which everything that's been on the SNES Classic and the Nintendo Switch Online service is actually version 1.1, which I didn't even know there was a difference between the two. But when I played Star Fox on the Switch Virtual Console and even on the SNES Classic, I was like, why the fuck does this feel a little bit faster and smoother than I remember this game? And that's because there was actually two versions of the original Star Fox. Star Fox 2 implemented so many ideas that ended up being in games like Star Fox Command, that ended up being in games like Star Fox Zero, which would have set the course, the trajectory course of the Star Fox franchise in a completely different direction. But they never released it, which I honestly feel was a shame. It looks a hell of a lot better. You can't even say, dude, it looks so much better than the original Star Fox. It looks so much better than the original Star Fox. The textures look better. The environments look better. There's more variety in the environments. There's more variety in the vehicles that you have. Like, come on.
You're right. It looks better. The ideas were very ambitious, and you can see the seeds of what would go on to future Star Fox games. I don't know if it's because the game was never fully fleshed out and completed, but it's a slightly different experience, and I did not like it. And also, to your point, I am playing this in 2020 after so much else has come out. So it is different, but I do respect and appreciate the concepts that they were going for, and it was highly, highly ambitious, considering what Star Fox 1 was.
Yeah.
Good props in the chat.
That's fair.
But my whole thing is like, people, I've seen this like comment multiple times where it's like, oh, it's not the game it was supposed to be, and I'm like, motherfucker, what are you on the development team? And I keep seeing the same comment, and I even, I was trolling this person on the Nintendo Enthusiast video just because like it's so stupid, like that. What an odd mindset to have, to be stuck in 16 years ago, like Sean said, and be willing to. No, I'm not going to play any of these games that are coming up because it's not the one it's supposed to be. Like, you're fucking lame.
So what I don't get is people are saying, well, it's not they stopped making Mario RPGs because there's no experience points. That's the biggest thing. It's like, how do you guys define RPGs? Like, to me, an RPG, it's a role-playing game, but ultimately it's a story-based game. When you look at the Paper Mario games, sure, XP's out the window, but these stories, like, it opens up the world of Mario so much more. The writing is always like a highlight of these games. The last couple of entries, if there's one thing that's consistent, is the writing is always good. The jokes are always good. The humor is good. And it's like, the fact that you are missing out on all this, and the locations and the characters are like, they're not the most iconic, but still the stories are really well done. And in this one, the Origami King, so far the story is just a blast. Like, I don't usually laugh out loud at games. This game is making me laugh out loud.
There's actually a story arc with Bobomb. You have Bobomb, right?
Yeah, he's the one who's making me laugh a lot.
Watch his story arc and then message me after his story arc.
Oh wow, I didn't realize they made arcs. He seemed very
it was a story arc with him.
Just sideline. Okay.
Just you have different characters that you encounter throughout your adventure.
I love how they set him up as your first kind of like sidekick character. When you meet him, you just expect like, oh yeah, he's gonna join the party. He's like, well, I'm completely useless. I can't do anything. And then they're like, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't take you. And it just like threw the expectation of what they usually do in these games, and I was just caught off guard. And then the follow up to that of what happens in the story, which I won't spoil, is just like, oh, that's what they're gonna do with this guy. Okay, and it's a blast. It's just
you haven't seen anything yet with Bobby.
Oh man, looking forward to it.
I'm genuinely excited to play. I just haven't gone out and bought it yet because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wait until probably this week when I'm just enough time to just lay into it.
You need to finish your Spider-Man, sir, first.
You mind your own business.
Cool.
Is that my dessert?
Yeah, before you have your Paper Mario dessert, finish your Spider-Man dinner.
No.
I won't do it. Any other games you guys been playing before we move on to the other topics, which are not very strong this week, honestly?
No, that's it.
Oh, shit. So, apparently, tomorrow there is rumors of a Nintendo Direct. I was actually watching the hashtag Nintendo Direct. Why is there so much buzz around Nintendo Directs this time? We've never seen a Nintendo Direct drop on a Monday, have we?
No, but you've never gone a long time, almost a year without a Nintendo or over a year. without a Nintendo Direct either, or almost over a year.
I don't
It's just-
understand.
Nintendo's been so quiet. That's the thing that gets me.
It's because they're a Japanese company and they don't have dick for work at home stuff, and America is always secondary to them. As Nintendo of America is basically just marketing for Nintendo of Japan. Because Nintendo of America doesn't do dick besides translate and have figureheads and do stuff like comics and stuff.
You're not wrong.
Comics, I mean like board games and shit and Legos.
Yeah. Speaking of Legos, that was a cool Lego set that was released last week. Did you guys see the NES Lego set? I know you did because you made a video about it. Really? I think it's going to be expensive.
Someone said $200.
It's $230 in the States, so it's like $5,000 in Canada.
Probably. Yeah. Well, whenever
He's so tired, he's just like, fuck you. Whatever.
I'm not gonna buy it. It's too expensive. It's gonna be literally a pile of bricks of an old TV.
I'm not doing it because it's like 2,600 pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. It's an exciting set to build, but like, what are you like? You're building two rectangles. Like you're just building two boxes. It's not like a super cool. It's not like it's a Death Star or a Star Destroyer. It's just a box. What's in the middle?
Knick-knacky things like that.
Where are you gonna put it? You gonna put it in your game room?
Yeah. Well, we're trying to make this area like downstairs in our basement where it's like a chill spot. I just bought a VCR this weekend, so I'm pretty hyped about that.
Arvin asked, does the Nintendo Treehouse write the dialogue for Paper Mario?
They do.
They do?
They do. That's why it's good.
Oh.
Because they're young American people.
They're very
sorry.
They're very
xenophobic.
They're very aware of their audience. Let's just say that. There's a lot of jabs at the Nintendo community in there. It's very self-aware.
Did you find the one toad who was like, I want to thank my teachers, I want to thank my parents? Like, that was fucking hilarious.
I didn't understand. I didn't understand that. I saw OJ tweet it, but I didn't like.
Because like you have whenever like a star athlete like wins a championship, they're like, I want to thank God, I want to thank my mom, I want to thank my teacher, my 5th grade teacher for telling me to stick with football.
Mr. Ryman, thank you.
Mr. Ryman.
I really was a 5th grade teacher.
It's the dialogue is the best part. Nintendo Direct tomorrow. I mean, there's a reason why I make videos and speculate on things.
Let's just say I wouldn't be willing to bet you against it.
What was it? Hot Gamer Babe 69 or whatever the Twitter account?
It's a real thing, dude.
What?
Yeah.
What's this? What's the story?
It's one of the sources.
One of your sources is Hot Gamer Babe.
They got the last direct right. Wasn't that it too?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit.
The last Nintendo Direct, the Direct Mini, there was a handful of people that honestly believed in it. People were fucking trashing me left and right because I was like, it's going down on Thursday. And they're like, no, it's not. And it was so fucking satisfying because somebody, like some big person on Twitter said it, and that they didn't think it was going to happen. And then they said something snarky to me and tagged me in it. And that next morning, I was like, "What was that? You got something to say there, Junior?" And you're like, "It was a Direct Mini. It doesn't count." I'm like, "Bitch, sit the fuck down." But yeah, I mean, I'm waking up. I have an alarm set for tomorrow.
So if it happens tomorrow, do you think we're gonna get the holiday lineup out of this? Like that to me is I don't think they would do a Monday Shadow Drop Nintendo Direct and it's like, boom, here's our holiday lineup. That just
no. Who said holiday?
I'm asking. I'm not accusing.
July.
I'm asking. I know.
It's July. You don't talk holiday until September.
No. Previously, when there was E3s, you talked holiday in June.
Some.
Yeah, but I could see the compilation being a really big thing.
There is from people I've been talking to, there is some sort of discrepancy over whether it's a mini or a full. I have people swearing to me that's going to be a full, and I'm not willing to buy into that. It could very well be. The only difference between a full and a mini is length. A mini is 25 to 30 minutes. A full is 45 to an hour long. I don't give a fuck which type it is, as long as there's game.
I feel like mini is a bit more of a fluffer of third-party indies, low-end Nintendo.
The Direct Mini was fantastic. If they would have ended on something better than Pokemon DLC, that was a fucking banger. You got a bunch of third-party games. You got stealth announcements. You got good first-party representation. You got Clubhouse games. That was a banger of a show. It was good. It was concise. Everything was coming out nice and quickly. You knew what you were getting. Bam, bada boom. And then they ended on Pokemon DLC, and it kind of fell flat. So I don't even think it needs to be a full-on Nintendo Direct. I mean,
I just hope they bring more Bakugan.
Fuck. Right. Oh my god!
Pull the air right out of his
I forgot that was a thing.
But
everyone forgot that was the thing.
Seriously, I've been like starting to get into watching stocks and make some moves and
stocks.
And I've been watching Nintendo's just sit stale, and I'm just like,
Nintendo news never moves the stock.
Yeah, but just even like to see it move if like maybe there's deals going on or people know that companies are partnering or whatever. But it's just been really really just interesting to not see anything really come about. And
I was studying Nintendo stocks for like the last 5 years around E3 to see if it's worth buying into Nintendo before an E3 when you think it's going to be good. It's never gone up or down during an E3. Like regardless of what they've announced, it's never moved the needle on stocks. The biggest move I saw is when they announced their partnership with Tencent to sell the Switch in China. That shot it up 10%. And then it's pretty much whenever they report on their hardware game sales, that's when you'll see some movement. But it doesn't move. Like the ones that get more action are like EA and Activision.
Tencent is a huge powerhouse, man. I just don't.
A little bit too big.
Because every time I look up like I'll look up like tech stocks and like try to look what the industry's doing and certain things and I always see like, Tencent wants 10% of this company, and I'm like, geez, like again.
Tencent's scary.
They have a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
They're
especially
scary.
in the entertainment industry.
You want to know what else is scary?
Industry.
Freaking look at this. This is the Tesla stock. Look at that.
Jeez, many Christmas.
It makes no sense. It's at 1,500 right now, and I bought some when it was 200. If I had just held on, Greg.
I did a shitty thing and bought stock in the company that has coronavirus vaccines. So I've been like holding on to that, but I still feel kind of bad that I'm like,
profiting off a pandemic. Hope they sell it for $1,000 a vaccine, right?
I mean, fuck it, dude.
It's very anti-Canadian with where we give out.
As you pay $100 for a fucking game. $3,000 for next generation consoles.
Okay, my Canadian like price increase is very minimal for the amount of games I buy.
You got to buy new hardware.
Like once every 5 years.
Can you set your Switch to like the American eShop and then buy games?
But you have to understand like. Just because our number in Canada is higher, the value is equivalent. So like even though, for example, let's say a game here is $80 and $60 in US, sure, our number is higher, but that's because the Canadian dollar is a weaker value to the American. Like I'm still paying, what I'm paying for the game is the same thing you guys are paying for the game. It's just the number is different, but the value is the same because I'm paying with a different currency.
Not.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
$80 Canadian is basically equivalent to $60 American.
I was balling out of control when I went to Toronto. I was like throwing this plastic money everywhere.
But like the thing is, so the price of a burger in America, like just because the price difference is like you're probably gonna see a burger in the States being what, like $3, $5, and if it's 5 or 7 in Canada, it all evens out to the same thing when you consider like the salaries you get and all that. Like the economies are scaled and balanced to be equivalent, at least between Canada and the U.S.
Canada sucks. The end. Move on to the next topic.
Says the man who's never been to Canada.
I'd never want to go.
Jason Weiner died.
No more ketchup chips for you, sir.
That's the only good thing about Canada.
Or maple
is ketchup.
syrup.
Eh?
Yeah, I gave you
Maple syrup's good.
And we don't talk about the other thing I brought you. I don't want to get arrested.
I think I don't think they're illegal anymore.
What is it?
Let me look them up.
I'm like seriously, it's pretty illegal to. We don't talk about that.
Oh yeah, there's.
There's still,
Oh no, they went. Yeah, they're still banned.
Okay, let's not talk about it. I don't want to be on record for talking about it. Anyways, and then our last topic is the Xbox Showcase, which is this Thursday, I think. See, if, I think. Are you guys excited about that at all, or like?
Very curious.
You guys think we'll get an Xbox price?
No, they already said they're only talking about games.
But didn't they just
Price-
do that last month?
Third-party games. These are first-party games.
I think they're. I mean, they're trying to build up value with what they're going to show, because then you have more flexibility to stand by whatever price point that you bring up. You know, that's like, don't forget we have all these games that you're may or may not be excited about. But I'm just curious as to what the hell they are.
I'm a little curious about Halo. As someone who's always been on the fringe of Halo, never really dipped my toe in Halo. Curious.
I don't know. So I can't. It's hard for me to buy into what Phil Spencer is preaching. It's very hard.
I get
because if I design a game for the Xbox Series X and I'm a third-party developer, like a game my game doesn't have to run on the Xbox One VCR. However, everything has to run on the Xbox One VCR. That's a first-party game for the first few years. It's even seeming like it's extending to that now. And I understand scaling and all that shit. You know, you could sit there and preach about people doing it on PC for years, but there's still a baseline. There's still a baseline with the PC. You still have to have a minimum specs. And I just see the gap between something like the Xbox One VCR and the Xbox Series X to just be a huge fucking gap. You know?
I like partially agree with you, you know, from like, especially the standpoint, like minimum specs and all that sort of stuff. But like, I even went back to play. So I was like, oh, I forgot I downloaded Sea of Thieves and I have it on the Xbox One S. And I was like, because my Xbox One X took a shit. And I was like, oh, sick. I can, you know, just play while I'm sitting on the couch. And it runs like ass.
Sea of Thieves?
There's so much input lag. And I don't know if that's like it, because I looked up to see if there's other
issues. Are the waters like really choppy?
No, the waters are fine. It's the motion, but the other game that runs terribly is Rocket League, and like it's to the point where I like the new Xbox beta they have for PC right now. It's really easy to jump into, you know, matches with friends that are on Xbox and things like Halo, even though it's still a little broken right now. But it's just like I don't even want to play anything on the One S, and if that's the new standard, like no, it's dated already.
I find though this gen, and you know we always talk about this, that this is a gen where there's not a big gap, and I feel when you say the Xbox VCR, which is a fantastic way to describe it, thanks for that, versus the Xbox Series X, it's really just going to be turning off a bunch of lighting, shadow, particle effects. Like to me, that's the biggest difference between these two platforms.
You're going to tell me that you feel Ratchet and Clank, from what we saw from that PS5 presentation, could be a PS4 game?
Yeah, if you strip it of effects.
Everything?
No,
just so much.
It's like the Switch. You put Witcher 3 on the Switch, you just take out some effects, compress things, boom, it works. You can do it with every game. That's what it's been on PC. You just turn off all the knobs. It's going to be low settings. Like, it's doable. You can still get the same gameplay, but it's really not going to look the same.
It's going to be like deprived of, you know, RTX or the RTX features, anti-aliasing, draw distance, textures.
So I mean, and what is the benefit for Xbox One VCR owners with this? There is no benefit. There is no benefit. Why are you pandering to an audience who gave up on you, didn't buy any of your fucking games?
Yep.
It didn't buy your system. Move the fuck on. Give me a reason to buy I can only play this game on the Xbox Series X. You know what? That's why people are going to buy a PlayStation 5. Because I can only play Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PlayStation 5. I can only play the new Ratchet and Clank on the PlayStation 5. I can only play Horizon Zero or Horizon, whatever the fuck, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, we'll call it, on my PlayStation 5. I can play premium versions of games like NBA 2K21 on the PlayStation 5. You are not offering that with the Xbox Series X at all. And all because it works for PC gaming doesn't mean jack shit about console gaming, because I don't give a fuck what anyone says. They are still two completely different markets, and they will be two completely different markets for the foreseeable future. Fucking PC gaming did away with physical games in what, 2005, 2006?
Somewhere
Here we are 14 years plus later, and there's still physical games coming out on consoles. Why is that? Because it's a different fucking audience. People buy consoles for the convenience factor of not having to do things like upgrade graphics cards and do things like that. You buy a box, you play the game on the box. But now this box that I bought for $150 used, called an Xbox One S, can play the same fucking games that this new $500-$600 box is going to play. And what's my incentive of buying this new $500-$600 system?
They're not gonna. They don't care. They're basically. I see it as they're bowing out of the console war. It's going to be the PlayStation 5, which is going to be the console king. They're going to have Nintendo with their revolutionary.
Why make a new console? What's the point?
I really don't know. For the,
But
I think they could have just done the
It's the best way to play. The best way to play your games on the Xbox Series X.
because
The most powerful system in the world. But
Okay.
you don't care about if people buy it or not, because you're not giving people a reason to buy it. Besides me, because I talk about video games.
well, that's probably the base that they're catering to. They want everyone to move to either just keep buying their first party games or move to PC. And
Nobody their first party games because they're all on Game Pass, and you get Game Pass for $1 for a year.
and I guess they're fine with that. I don't know. I don't get their strategy. It's
Like the Netflix business model. Like,
Dude,
is
just-
Netflix even making a profit?
probably no, probably not. Look at what they did with Mixer. This is the same company with Mixer that launched a platform to go against Twitch, and then 2 years later, were like, you know what? We tried. Shut it off. And
It's just,
that's what
and-
they're doing.
and the video game portion of Microsoft is such a small sliver, whereas with Sony, it's one of their pillars, and with
Yeah.
Nintendo, it's all they fucking have, really. So I don't know.
They're just a game company.
Speaking of Nintendo, how love it, like it, hate it, or meh to have Disney Plus come to the Switch.
Is it coming
that-
to the Switch?
Saw it in Sean's video. That's the rumor, right?
No, that wasn't my video. I didn't
Was it
talk.
yours? Oh.
I didn't talk about. I thought that rumor leak was
You're
fucking
mixing up
atrocious.
your
trying to-
loud, you're
I was
mixing
trying
up
to
your loud
remember
YouTubers.
Brett made a video. A couple
any-
people made videos on it. That was a fucking
That's a
ridiculous and atrocious leak video. And if that is right, I will eat a pebble or something like that. Because I mean, there was just so much stupid shit in there. But Disney Plus would be fine. I have Disney Plus already, so it would just be another device I can put it on.
it's a mess.
So whatever.
I don't care. I don't.
But yeah.
I don't use my Switch to watch things because I can't.
Yeah. Lightning round graphic.
Lightning round.
A pebble.
Brought to you by your pet raccoon.
Yeah.
Is your raccoon okay? I saw there was some a brawl was surely brewing back there with the groundhog.
was- Yeah, Gary, he's a fucking asshole.
He lives in the ground all day. What do you expect?
I want to know where his hole is because I read that like they only go like 50 to 100 feet away from their hole to look for food. That dude is always in the fucking backyard. I was out smoking a cigarette today, and he popped his head under the fence like 4 times and would just stare at me for like 10 seconds and then pop his head away. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Why is Gary the asshole?
Because he's sitting there fucking trying to fight the raccoons and shit. Any
So you met a
third-party
Gary that was nice.
Any third-party predictions for the Xbox showcase? Hoping for Elden Ring. I'm not really sure, honestly. I don't really know because I don't expect them necessarily talk about a game we don't already maybe know about, because I feel like they would have done that in the June presentation. So I feel like it's just going to be stuff that we already know about and possibly have already seen.
Did they announce the new Call of Duty this year yet?
No.
No, but I have seen that it's coming in 2021, and it's called like something weird, like some like Call of Duty Red Sea or Red Storm is like its code name, something weird.
Oh, maybe that.
It's been 5 years since Arkham Knight. What happened to Rocksteady?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Fuck if I know.
Batman Court of Owls. Maybe that'll shadow drop.
Yeah.
That game is a lot further along than you would think. Did I finally? Sorry.
Sounds like it's ready to be announced.
Did I finally get my NBA Jam cabinet? No, I believe it's coming this week. Did Yokai Watch 4 ever come out in English? I do not think so. No. What difficulty are any of you playing Ghost of Sushi on? Of course, stupid Brett is in here.
What?
I'm playing on medium.
Brett's here. What are you talking about?
He's in the chat.
Oh. It's okay to play on medium. You shouldn't shame difficulties.
I'm not. I'm just saying none of us are playing it, so he's the only one that can answer.
You're going to play it on hard, though, when you get it, right?
I'm going to play it when it's $20. With all the new limited run games coming out, anything you need to pick up, yes. I'm buying the Grandia collection. I'm buying the Mummy Demastered, because I still haven't bought that yet, and now I can finally have an excuse to do it. Definitely buying Castlevania collection, especially if they do a collector's edition. I'll probably fuck around and buy that. That's all I can think of off the top of my head, but I know there's more. Is it impossible for Arcade 1-Up to acquire The Simpsons? I say no, because they would just have to go through Fox more so than Konami, because they technically managed to get Turtles in Time, which was made by Konami, but is now a Nickelodeon product, because Nickelodeon owns Turtles. So I think it's feasible. I just think it's a lot of licensing and stuff.
You think with Disney being behind it now, though, they wouldn't be like clamping down?
But Disney behind what? Simpsons?
Yeah.
Why would they clamp down on it when all these Marvel games are coming to?
Good point. And the Star Wars games too.
And Star Wars, yeah. So, it's definitely doable. I think it's just a matter of red tape and probably money. But I feel like they've done well with escalating their projects to the point of where they're probably making some good money. Are you guys enjoying Sushi or Paper Mario more? I haven't picked up Sushi yet. Sushi is a $20 Black Friday deal for me.
I'm picking up Sushi this week.
I like ninjas, but I'm not a modern Samurai J or anything like that.
It's samurais. They're very different from ninjas. Like, oh my god. Ninjas are stealthy. Samurais are in your face, one-on-one fights. And this game lets you pick one or the other.
Weeb.
Really?
Get it right, guys. God.
Do you think we would get a Banjo-Kazooie remaster with all the revival games so far? I mean, you kind of already got it with the Rare Replay collection.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the toxic environment limited run games creates? With the limited amount of games they produce, the market is flooded with resellers. Games are being sold for double before they are released. Well, it's gotten a lot better now, because they don't just do it where it's like you got to do it at 9 a.m. or 6 p.m. Eastern time. They have open pre-orders. Like back in the day, like, yeah, that was a huge fucking problem. But now I feel like you have ample time to pre-order these games. And if you don't, like, that's just kind of your problem. Plus, they even release some of them at Best Buy eventually. So,
yeah. And that's one thing I don't see is resellers of limited run game stuff. Like
it used to be very, very bad. And like I actually looked up, like, this was the Curse of the Moon original was super easy to get. Like, ooh. I just pre-ordered it when it originally came out. I don't know why the hell it's here. But now looking at it on eBay, it's like, let me see.
When you go to conventions, I see those limited run games everywhere, and they're super expensive.
Well, and sometimes limited run games is at the conventions themselves. Oh. And so this right now, there's one up on eBay, open as well, Ends in 30 minutes for $150. Buy it now, $250. Buy
What
it
about
now.
the Star
220.
Wars the NES release that they did on the blue cartridge?
I can't imagine those would be.
'Cause I ended up grabbing two of them.
I thought you were
That was
done
the-
buying limited run stuff, Greg,
No, this was before
before the boycott, before the
Yeah.
dark times.
Okay, well, I mean, did you get the premium edition or the stock?
I don't.
Like, is it on? Did it come with a bunch of extras, or is it just the game and like?
No, it's just the game.
They're selling for like. Well, there's you can get it for $32.
Yeah.
With free shipping. It's not a bad deal. I might buy that.
Spontaneous buy of the week.
Yeah.
You still doing the meat of the week on that other show you're on?
I mean, yes, but it varies from week to week. Ooh, $30.
There's only so many meats.
Well, I mean, sometimes I switch it up.
Question: have you ever? I always see this in the store, and I've never been brave enough to buy it. Have you ever seen the deli meats with the macaroni in it, like the macaroni
No.
cheese in the meat?
What?
Okay, let me get you a picture of this. I always see. I was like, who buys that? But now I'm like, hey, maybe this would be. I'm thinking right now that would be a good Hey Jay Eats episode.
All right, we have questions. Are you gonna check Jay? Are you gonna check out
I already
Kurosawa? Speaking of toxic, I heard Philip is back in town. I mean, my thing about Philip is like he fucked up. He got his, comeuppance by like losing his job and his livelihood, and like,
What's the
that
story behind that?
it was the Nintendo IGN editor who plagiarized some reviews.
Oh, Musin or whatever.
I mean, he got his comeuppance. He literally shifted his family to live in San Francisco and then lost his job within a few months. So, I mean, if the dude wants to come back and make videos, like, whatever. If people want to watch them, let people watch them. Will I be watching his videos to get his personal opinions on stuff? No. And I used to be friends with the guy. I'm still friends with the guy. Like, I'm still cool with him. He did something very fucked up, and, I lost respect for him. But, the problem it's a societal problem now, is where you used to be, people make mistakes. Everyone makes fucking mistakes. Everyone has skeletons in their closet. You can't put all these people up on a pedestal, and then when they fuck up, all of a sudden, you should kill them and crucify them and stuff. Like, you have to move on. That used to be the point of prison. You would, if you stole a car and you went on a bender or something, you'd go to prison, and then you would come out paying your debt to society. And it's like all of a sudden now, losing your job, losing your livelihood, that's not enough. You can't make YouTube videos anymore. It's like, fuck off.
I got the most Christian saying that just came to mind. He who is sinless throws the first stone.
Yeah, he was without sin cast the first stone, man. Like, fucking A. Everyone has fucked up in life. And you know what? That's fucking life. I've done terrible things. I've been a terrible person. That's not me anymore. You're not the same person you were yesterday. Something will change within you. So judging people and holding them accountable for actions from a month ago, not even a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, get the fuck over yourself with your little Twitter cancel culture. Let's cancel this person. And now all of a sudden, it's so fucking funny how people were just, love to cancel people. But when Jenna fucking Marbles is the one who's getting canceled, now it's a big deal. You're doing it to Jenna, not Jenna. It's like, hey, maybe you shouldn't have done this the whole time. People do fucked up things. Back in 2011, when people were making Twitter accounts, where were you in 2011? Where were you 9 fucking years ago? Think about that, and think about where you are now. And are you the same person who would say the same sort of shit? Was the internet the same sort of place? Was society in the same sort of place where certain words, certain terminology, certain things weren't as offensive, weren't as, thought out, weren't considered to be a taboo subject? And then if you're that fucking clean, then you must be the second coming of Jesus Christ.
And back to Philip's topic, I wouldn't watch him, but if you don't want to watch him, don't watch him. and I just go about your business.
But
And
I think it's so weird that like people like Sean was saying like you get this like dog pile mentality, this mob mentality, and it's like especially now considering everybody's sitting glued to their phone
Yes,
or
it's gotten
it's
even
like
worse.
they're like yeah let's watch them burn,
It's-
yeah fuck yeah
yeah, it's
and
it's virtue signaling. It makes people feel good about bringing down someone else. That's all.
I will say though, it is very, very satisfying when those who participate in that sort of stuff, when their demons come and bite them in the ass. Looking at like Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah. I want to loop back on this. I know it's off topic, but this is the macaroni and cheese deli meat that I was talking about earlier. It's a thing. Like if you Google search macaroni cheese
I've
deli
seen
meat,
this. I feel like I've seen like with the pimento in it.
ham and cheese, like ham and mac and cheese. So this is clearly a thing, and I'm surprised out of the three of us, none of us have tried this because it's clearly a thing, and it seems to be popular. But
Is it a Canadian thing?
It might be a Canadian thing.
oh, it could be a Canadian thing. I don't know.
I don't know. I'd eat that. Look at that grilled cheese. That looks. Go scroll down.
This? Well, that's macaroni in the grilled cheese. That's different.
Yeah,
That's an idea. That's something
I made that. My stomach hurt so bad the next day.
So, all right, we got a new Hey G Eats episode to work on. Any last questions before we wrap up?
Would I ever consider a puppet of myself for a video? No.
What?
I'm enough of a puppet looking at me anyways. I actually found a funny somebody sent me a funny comment on a hate video of mine where they said that I'm a terrible YouTuber. My parents were related before they had me. But the funniest thing that they said about me was that all my videos suck because I talk too fast because I'm reading off of a script.
Oof.
And the best part about that is it's completely wrong. When I talk fast in my videos, and I know I talk fast, that's because I don't have a script. If you watch a review, watch Paper Mario the Origami King video from today. That was a scripted video, and I talk slower because I'm reading off of a script. Then watch the eShop video from Saturday where I'm talking fast because I don't have a script. Because that's just how my mind works. I talk faster when I don't have a script, and I'm more on my toes. Whereas when I don't, so that's just. I found it hilarious. It's like you're such a stupid motherfucker. Like,
About your content though is like, I don't think you lose quality going scripted or unscripted. I think like when you are scripted, I can tell because it's more of a
Structure?
not structure, just your tone. Like I don't know, it's just a different.
It's different
style of
tone.
video.
No, yeah. It definitely is, and that's intentional because it's not. People want news. They want news fast. People want a review. They want to, I think, be able to digest things a little easier, which going in a slower manner. And it's not like I'm like, in this game here, they have this.
It
No,
does-
I mean, it's so.
It does.
But
take-
it's.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I've seen it where it's like, especially in yours, where you're like, and looking back at the series or something, and you'll notice that these, and it's like, yeah, oh shit, that's a very good point, and I think that's like it. What a stupid comment!
Dude, people are fucking bizarre on the internet.
I'm sure there's like 15 more that this person posted about.
Oh, I'm
Back
sure.
of your
I mean,
door.
there's, and no, they weren't even a thousand. They just hate everything I do. I can make a video on. I saved the world from cancer. That piece of shit. He just put all those pharmaceutical companies out of business.
You have no right. Cancel this man.
All right.
There you go, Jonathan. Exactly.
People will never
Oh,
be
wow.
happy.
Yeah, there's always something to shit on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm me. If you don't like it, don't watch.
There's
Yeah.
plenty of other content
Like,
creators out
there's
there.
millions of people out there.
If you don't like
on the
Sean's
ones you like.
content, watch my content. Tends to be
Or
a little
Arlo.
different.
Just kidding.
Or Arlo.
Arlo makes good content.
Actually, I saw Arlo at when Brett and I went to the Midwest Gaming Classic.
You
He
saw
was
the
one of
puppet or the
both.
or both? Oh my god.
Arlo is cool. I disagree with some of his stances on things. That's what it all boils down to. I have no ill will. It's okay. You can disagree with people and still, be friends with them and be, family with them. I know it's kind of a shocking topic in 2020, but you can. I disagree with lots of people on lots of things.
guy's yelling at me all the time.
Exactly. Fucking this bitch playing Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 on casual mode. Doesn't even try veteran mode. I'm still friends with him. I just disagree with his choice of game style.
Oh, I would have used the word acquaintance more than friend. But
Wow.
Are you guys just gonna roast each other now, or
no, we're gonna end it there.
you can't end it on that?
I like
You-
Sean,
you
and
just-
he's my friend. Okay.
You just slapped him and ran. That's what you did.
He does the same thing. He'll go on Twitter and like do things, and he's like, I don't read
Jason,
Twitter.
two
I'm
wrongs
like,
don't
you
make
are
a
there
right.
on the
Cancel
dot.
Jason, cancel this man.
There's nothing
that's
to
the Canadian
cancel.
way.
There's nothing to cancel. Maybe if I had something, well, you're gonna cancel my 50 view vids. All right, guys, that's gonna be the end of Class vs. Crass today. Thank you all for joining. What are you guys working on this week? Anything fun?
Yes. So, like I said, I'm setting an alarm clock for tomorrow. So expect a video tomorrow on certain things. Then we got the Xbox event. I've got Crisis preloaded on my Switch. Looking forward to reviewing that. Hopefully, my NBA Jam Arcade one-up cabinet is coming in. We'll do a video on that as well. So lots of stuff coming up this week. I'm very, very excited. I love when I start out a week and I'm not like, I got no fucking clue. You just tune in. Whereas
Most
now,
weeks.
that's most weeks. It's stressful, is what it is. Shit keeps me up at night. Whereas this is like, great, got all this shit planned out. I don't have to worry about nothing. Everything else is a bonus.
Imagine if you were on the West Coast though, because now you have stuff that can drop at 6 a.m. Like here, being on the East Coast, you're usually pretty safe.
I have no idea why YouTubers move to California. Like Yang Ye. Why the fuck did that motherfucker move to California to sit at his desk and make news videos?
And to pay so much more money for
Pay
rent.
so much
I
more
will
money.
say it was a lot easier for me to attend stuff when I lived in California because I lived in a shitty part of California, which the more people I meet that don't know the geography of California and like fucking, but I could, drive to San Francisco and be there in a couple hours, or I can drive to LA and be there in a couple hours. But to move, pick up and move.
Well, Nick just said that he wants to do voice acting. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense. But even so, like, I feel like he could have, gotten into that industry even remotely.
Voice acting, you record at home, you send it in. I don't know. I know it doesn't work that way. It's still on the old.
Yeah, but I feel like a shift is, I don't know. But then again, I would never move to California. If it was the last, I would move to Canada before I moved to California.
I don't believe you.
It's
a good
funny 'cause
choice.
I don't even think I could see myself moving back to California, even though like I miss elements about it and being able to drive 2 hours west and be at the beach. There is so, I don't know. It was number one too expensive, but it I don't know. It just like grew out of it, even though I was born and raised there.
Were you a beach bunny, Greg?
I don't know what.
I guess not. You want to join me for the Xbox Showcase live reacts on Thursday? Greg, cool. So we're gonna stream that. What's on your end, Greg? Anything else?
No, just kind of getting back into the swing of things on PC Invasion. Just regular news. That's about it.
Cool. Well, I'm doing the Animal Crossing thing every morning, 9 to 11, if you want to see me develop my island. Tomorrow we're going to finish Curse of the Moon 2. And I'm still experimenting with another type of stream of something. I want to stream something else. I just don't know what yet. So maybe I'll surprise you guys with stuff. And then videos, I don't know. I have to prioritize work right now so that I can get money. Videos will be dropping as my creative juices fill up and I have time. All right. But we'll see you guys next time. Same channel, same time. Until then, keep it classy, or as Sean would say.
Keep it classy.
Or as Greg would say.
A little bit of both.
Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching.